letter here from Dr. Mark Sandall I'd like to enter into the record. He's a professor at the Cleveland Marshall College of Law. Okay. I wanted to bring to the attention of the panel here, and I know there's agreement and disagreement maybe about how Article 6 should be applied. Dr. Sandall disagrees with the panel. I like your position better, Ms. Montgomery, quite frankly, but one of the things he says is, however, the need to adopt a bill, he's talking about some kind of bill for starting an interagency review process, is equally driven by industry demand for regulatory clarity. And I would say not just regulatory clarity, but certainty and permanence. So from one administration to the next, there's not this ambiguity. Your testimony, Ms. Montgomery, clearly indicated the same thing when you say, however, since the issue of what Article 6 means has created legal and regulatory uncertainty, Congress could lay that uncertainty to rest with a directive to regulatory agencies to abstain from using the lack of federal oversight of a particular activity as a reason to deny a payload review. So we're talking about a directive to regulatory agencies to abstain from denying a payload review, a launch or reentry license, or authorization for satellite transmissions or remote sensing. Mr. Chairman, I fully agree with this, and if we can get that kind of certainty that creates the agencies from abstaining from those kind of activities on these non-traditional space activities, I fully support it. One of the challenges that is there, Ms. Montgomery, you say there are clear advantages to this path. It would, of course, create certainty, which would be good. We want that certainty, which is helpful to industry's quest for innovation and investment. So there is currently uncertainty. I think everybody agrees with that. That uncertainty is creating a challenge to innovation and, of course, capital investment, of course, which is what Ms. Montgomery said here. The question is this: if we can't pass this bill that makes these agencies abstain from denying these activities, what do we do then? At that point, do we just accept the limitations on innovation? Do we just accept the fact that it's going to preclude capital formation? That's my question, Ms. Montgomery.
No.
We don't accept it.
We don't accept it.
So we'd have another approach.
Yes. The fact of the matter is that my recommendation is basically codification of the existing state of the law. We go look at the Supreme Court opinions and we apply them correctly and properly and knowingly and say, look, we can't stop you from going because we don't have a self-executing treaty here. Hooray.
So, Mr. Loverro, what would the State Department of the DOD have to say about that?
So, sir, I think we would be concerned about that kind of approach. While I am absolutely 100% in favor of innovation and experimentation in space, there are implications that transcend our Article 6 treaty obligations, in fact, and rather go ahead and move into things like the United Nations Treaty, and the need to go ahead and practice secure defense, the need to avoid harm to other nations' property. We have requirements throughout our landscape that assure that actions the United States take doesn't harm other nations. And in this case, actions we take in the commercial world doesn't harm other commercial operators. I think, I am very much of the mind that we need to do as little regulation in this realm as possible, but we do need to assure that our actions don't harm our own companies, our own national security, or interests of other nations.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.